So this video is about Tomb of Horrors, and it's going to be my ramblings about whether I messed up running Tomb of Horrors or not. Uh, is there a right or wrong way to get through this module? And specifically, I'm asking, what is the intention of a module like this? Uh, it's it's definitely been an interesting ride, so let's dive in. Hello, everybody. Jordan here. The PH is silent. Tomb of Horrors. I've ran 3 sessions of this now. Four sessions. No, 3 sessions. We're gonna have our final Tomb of Horrors session this Sunday in a couple days. And now that I'm nearing the end of Tomb of Horrors, I wanted to talk about my thoughts on it. So this is going to be a part 1 video, and then when I finish Tomb of Horrors, I'm going to make another video. But it's an intense module. For those of you who don't know, Tomb of Horrors was written because there were D&D players who felt like they had no challenge left. So this was supposed to be the most ultimate challenge dungeon for D&D players. And going through it, it's not so much fights as it is puzzles and consequences. So there are consequences for your actions, and there are difficult puzzles that almost have no answers sometimes. One of my players, specifically my wife, I was telling her about Tomb of Horrors, and she straight up said no. She's like, I don't want to be in it. I don't want you to run it because I'm just going to get frustrated and angry, and I'm not going to like it at all. And that's fair. So she didn't want to run it. And the only reason we are running this right now is because my usual group, which includes my wife, she had another commitment. And because of that commitment, couldn't make our regular game night for like a month. So I said, well, this is the perfect time for me to run Tomb of Horrors if the rest of us are interested. And they were. So we replaced her with another friend who was interested in running Tomb of Horrors. And that's how this kind of train got started. Now, me as a DM, I want my players to have fun. And part of having fun is having it be fair and balanced. If you throw something at them that is too difficult, it doesn't seem fair and it doesn't seem balanced, and then your players get frustrated. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm playing incorrectly because my players have never come to me and said, Jordan, that was really unfair, or I can't believe that you threw this at us. Like, how were we supposed to win that? Because all of my encounters, all of my puzzles, I feel have been something that they could figure out. Some of them have been easy, some of them not so easy, but I drop hints because ultimately, as a DM, like, I want my players to succeed. It's not me versus my players, and I don't think any DM really feels like it's them versus their players. However, Tomb of Horrors really feels like it's you, the DM, versus the players. And you are nudging them to mess up, and you are hoping that they do mess up so that you can roll some dice for a trap, or that you can kill them in some kind of macabre way. There are numerous ways to die in this adventure, and this adventure seems the antithesis of how I usually play D&D. So I didn't really know how to approach it. Ultimately, I wanted my players to have fun. Before the adventure started, I said to them, now guys, don't get attached to your characters. There's a very real chance that your characters will die. Also, if your characters do die, don't feel bad. We'll just make a new one and you can kind of join the new party or the regular party and continue on. So you'll still get to play. You'll just have to make a new character. This isn't specifically in the Tomb of Horrors module, but I said that adventurers from far and wide have gathered around the Tomb of Horrors. It's recently been discovered. There are cults of Acererak there. There are vendors selling various magical wares, so that my players could kind of like, they had a set amount of gold at the beginning of the adventure. And I was like, this is a popular place because it has been discovered. There are cults of Acererak. People want this to be explored, but they're scared. So they're waiting for that one adventure that goes in and comes back out and makes it alive. So because of this setup I did, it's really easy. If one of them dies, then another adventurer from this like shanty town that's been created outside of the Tomb of Horrors will rise up and say, I'm going to join them. And that kind of happened. We started out with 4 characters, and then we added a 5th character because a friend of ours wanted to play Tomb of Horrors as well. So he came in the second night, and I basically just said, you're another one of these adventurers looking for it, and you start exploring the Tomb of Horrors, and you run into this adventuring party on the inside so that they could all meet up and explore together. I oversold their deaths so much that I even created a magic item. I created this soul bracelet that has 3 gems that would divide their soul into 3. So if they die, only a third of their soul goes away. So basically I gave them a bracelet of 3 lives if they wanted to buy that. 3 of them decided to buy that. 2 of them decided not to buy that. They only had enough gold to get like a +1 armor or +1 equipment. Or this soul bracelet and some healing potions here and there. I wanted my players to have fun, and I thought it might not be fun to die all the time, but I knew that death was going to happen, so I'm going to give them these soul bracelets. Now, I'm not going to go in depth about the Tomb of Horrors or ruin a bunch of the stuff in case you want to play it or run it, but suffice to say, I think I oversold the amount of death that my players would run into so that they became so cautious that they're now about 85% through the dungeon and no one has died yet. They've taken a lot of damage. They've burned through a lot of hit dice doing short rests, but they have yet to die. And it kind of makes me feel like a bad DM. Like, I read this adventure thinking, well, surely they're going to go left and they're going to fall and they're going to die. Or surely they're going to touch this thing and they're going to die. Or surely they're going to die, but they haven't yet. The last session we ran, the fighter who has one of these soul bracelets was starting to get like, I'm really curious about a lot of these things that we've been avoiding, that she's like, I've got 3 lives. Like, I don't care. I'm going to just jump out there and take some more risks. And she did take some more risks, but it still didn't result in her death. It's been a mix of luck and caution. They've been very lucky finding magic doors, which means they don't go down dead ends that could cause them trouble. They've been very lucky finding, or just a 50-50 chance of like, well, it's either one or the other. Let's try option A, and option A happens to be the one that opens a door or sets them free. So I feel like, did Jordan as a DM, did I as a DM mess up? Like, should I have not overly prepared them? Is that part of the adventure for them to just go in thinking, oh, this is just another module, and then get slapped in the face hard when they realize how much danger is in there? They haven't died because they've been so cautious, because I told them to be cautious. And part of me feels like I ruined the fun of the Tomb of Horrors because I did that. Now, my players are having fun. Don't get me wrong. We're laughing. We're having a good time. Sometimes they're purposely triggering traps because they're just curious about what will happen. Other times they are avoiding not traps that they think are going to kill them because of being overly cautious. But regardless, they're really curious and they're having a good time exploring the dungeon. They've been having so much fun exploring the dungeon that they were presented an opportunity. As they progressed through the dungeon, they found a genie, and this genie offered them 3 wishes. And one of their wishes was to go to the very beginning of the Tomb of Horrors because they want to explore those areas that they didn't get to explore. They want to explore some of those dead ends that could result in a death. Jordan, as a dungeon master, was thrilled by this because there's now chances that they can go through and actually be murdered. Or will they get lucky again? But it's culminating in a fight with a Serac. Surprise, it's the Tomb of Horrors. It's a Serac's tomb. This culminates in a fight with a Lich. My players are level 11. They started at level 10. I bumped them to 11 because I know how difficult this fight coming up is. I'm really curious if it will ruin the fun. If a fight so difficult that they can just about not survive, they can't win, is that going to be fun? Is that going to be me shrugging my shoulders saying, hey, that's the Tomb of Horrors? Or are they going to be frustrated and angry and upset at the end of this module? When I first tweeted that I was out there running the Tomb of Horrors, and kind of this was the party setup. I had a lot of people tweet back that they were really excited to see like that it's a fun module. Specifically, I had one tweet where this guy said Tomb of Horrors has been an immensely fun experience for him, and every time he's ran it, the players have been like crying with laughter over how silly the deaths are, or just like the situations that the players get themselves into. I want to be a fair dungeon master, fair and balanced. I feel that if I have fights that are balanced, then they're fair. If there's a chance for success, but also a chance for failure, then my players have a good time. If they get a sensation in a fight that I've thrown something that's way too difficult for them, all of a sudden they don't have a good time. Because if they know that there's no way for them to win, why are they playing? And that's kind of what this final fight feels like. Is there a way for them to win? I don't know. I don't know if I should, well, I'm going to follow the Tomb of Horrors in the Tales of the Yawning Portal, and I'm going to play it exactly how I'm supposed to play it, because that's what the module is written. And ultimately, if they don't have fun, I can blame it on the module, but it's still, nobody likes feeling cheated. And this has been a really interesting module to run. I'm really curious about this final fight, whether my players are going to succeed, which I doubt, whether they're going to die and be frustrated, which is kind of what I think is going to happen, or whether they're going to die and laugh it off because they're going to be blown away by how difficult it was and just like that was fun, which I also kind of doubt is going to happen. All the fun we've had up until this last battle, is it going to be, I don't know. Because ultimately I've prepared them. Dying is not the problem for my players. They're prepared to die. But are they prepared for insurmountable odds? I don't know. This has been a really interesting module. I would like to run it again. We'll see after the next session if I really want to run it again or not. But I don't know. I'm curious. Have you ran Tomb of Horrors? Have you been in Tomb of Horrors? Was it fun? Did you finish it? What's the ending to the Tomb of Horrors supposed to be like? Thanks for watching. Kind of an odd video, but something I just wanted to talk through and get off my chest. I'm just really curious if I messed up by over-preparing my players to the point where they think they're indestructible, and then they're going to get to this final battle and it's just going to end. Or I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm just really curious. But thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful 2017, and I will see you guys in 2018. So Happy New Year. Bye.